When every single Marine in the Deathwatch squad is an Alpha Marine infiltrator, but none of them know it. My players were ready to fucking kill me at the end of the night. Story time? DM. Last session of a Dark Heresy campaign before break due to Cleric doing PhD bullshit. Players still want to do something. Ask me to do a one-shot. I suggest Deathwatch. All three of them agree and promise to acquire PDFs. 10 minutes after they leave, Player 1 texts me and asks if he can be a secret Alpha Marine. Not sure about this. Dithering over allowing PvP when Player 2 texts, asking if I've heard of Alpha Marines. Links a green text about an Alpha killing this other Marine by convincing him to do a last stand. He's really excited. Not sure how to let him down without mentioning that Player 1 asked already or seeming hypocritical later. Call the MIA cleric. Ask for his opinion. Tells me he has an idea and to hold on a bit. Suddenly, Player 3 calls. Really excited with this whole secret infiltrator assassin Marine idea he got from the cleric. I see where this is going and I like it. I text the cleric, tell him he's getting the blame for all of this. I tell all three players that I agree, and I'll give them their secret Deathwatch orders before the session. But they have to get me their character sheets early, and let me do a little editing. Stop worrying about what the mission will be. I decide it'll just be a Gene Stealer Space Hulk. It doesn't really matter anymore. I get all three sheets, find and add some descriptors, like Player 1 killing this war boss, Player 2 served this Inquisitor, Player 3, the Librarian, carries a specific type of psi-focus. Day of the session, send all three players vague target descriptors 2 hours before they arrive. Tell them they'll have to figure out their target on the fly. Session starts. There's a basic briefing from the Inquisitor. Welcome to the new kill team. Here's the Space Hulk. Go stick your dick in it and see what happens. I introduce an NPC apothecary, and then let the party talk to each other in character to share backstory. Everyone is the most interested in each other's bullshit backstories that they have ever been. All three of them keep asking leading questions none of the others are prepared to answer. I make some suggestions based on the traits I flagged via the apothecary. Also have the apothecary share details which sort of match targets too. I notice them getting antsy. Decide clue time is over, and time skip to boarding the Space Hulk. Spooky corridor walkie time, ratchet up the tension a little, then hit them with their first Gene Stealers. Starts well, but Player 2 gets in melee with one, and Player 1 starts assisting him by firing into the melee, while Player 3 keeps tactically repositioning to put the apothecary between himself and the Gene Stealers. The fight ends before anything overt happens, but the second encounter goes almost exactly the same way, except Player 1 accidentally throws a grenade way too close to Player 3, who winds up getting slightly injured, but the apothecary patches him up. 3 more minor ambushes with all 3 players bumbling around trying to accidentally kill each other off, or the NPC. Some wounds start to go out because nobody's even paying attention to the Gene Stealers. Players seem a little frustrated with each other's competence, but also super engaged. I call a brief rest with more in-character talking, and warn that harder stuff is coming. The apothecary shares more info that matches target traits, causing even more confusion. The 4th fight is a whole nest. The fight starts with player 1 aggroing the whole thing, and then retreating back through the group. Player 2 and 3 do the same fucking thing, leaving the apothecary alone to fight the whole horde pretty much on top of him. Player 3 announces the NPC is done for and drops a vortex on him. Now healerless, the party mops up the rest of the nest. Player 2 grabs the apothecary's reductor and appoints himself Gene Seed Harvester. Other players see how great an idea this is, but their awkward argument is interrupted by a Gene Stealer ambush. Mid-fight, get a note from Player 2 saying he aims for Player 3. Player 3 uses Fused Fate, but still gets into criticals, then has to burn a point during the Gene Stealer follow-up, leaving him badly wounded. 2 notices 3 won't make it, and decides to harvest Gene Seed. 3 objects and loudly blames 2 for being an idiot. Seeing the pair distracted, 1 announces that 2 is obviously an Alpha Marine traitor, and just outright whacks him with his power sword. 2 uses Fate and dodges, then backs away, while oh so cleverly pointing out that 3 is the actual traitor, citing his vortexing of the apothecary. 1, seeing an opportunity, announces that he totally believes him and suggests they both kill 3. 3 decides the jig is up and tries to dominate 1 into killing 2. 1 tries to pass a note to me, saying he lets this happen, but 2 notices the note, gets all metagamey, and tries to kill 1. Both players upright start duking it out, while player 3 starts casting powers at both of them. Out of character argument begins. I tell them to chill and warn them that all the fighting will attract Gene Stealers. They don't care. A giant clusterfuck ensues. 1 goes down first, burning Fate to stay barely alive. 2 makes it all of 1 more round before a Gene Stealer gets him to burn Fate as well. 3 announces his intention to gate out to the shuttle. I point out it's detached, and he doesn't know where it is. He decided to pray to Tzeentch for guidance, citing his killing of his target as a reason for the god's favor. The other players both go, "What the fuck, you were an Alpha Marine too?" Sudden realization hits everyone. They round on me and start to ask me, "What the fuck?" I try to deliver a cool one-liner, but I can't stop laughing. They came around pretty quick, but man were they pissed at first.
You've been listening to another tale from Cloak and Dagger Narrations. If you enjoyed what you just heard, please consider flinging money wildly in the general direction of my Patreon, or using the paypal.me link for a single-use, money-flinging alternative. If you'd like to listen to these narrations without the plug, or download them free of charge, you can find me on SoundCloud.